All right. I am legitimate fake football fan. This is BK Hansi Flicked. Well, if you don't know football, if you don't know the football inside out, you'll not know the metaphor there. But let's talk about Ecuador. Okay, when the World Cup started, Ecuador thrashed Qatar in front of an empty stadium because all the Qataris just left because they were like, who's gonna watch this? This is so stupid. And then we were like, oh my God, it's gonna be a dullest World Cup. Everybody's talking about human rights. Who cares about human rights? Like we're rich people. We don't care about human rights. There's poor people. Okay. It all began with, but then everything changed, right? It all began with the heavyweights. Heavyweights, Iran thrashing the Minnows England 6-2. Who would have seen that fucking thing coming, man? Then Argentina were schooled by the Saudis. Then Germans were spanked by the Japan. And then Japan decided, oh, we already won the World Cup. Then they got bitch slapped by Costa Rica, who were fucking bitch slapped by Spain 7-0 the other day. Then Morocco fucking tamed Belgium 2-zip. Belgium, oh, the golden generation. No, it is not anymore. They have Hazard. You actually become a Hazard. Now, interestingly, you noticed yesterday that the minnows, if they score too early against heavyweights, it doesn't end very well. In fact, it ends identical because Australia, I remember, scored in the ninth minute and they lost 4-1 to France, last time world champion. And then you fuckers, the new Canadian Guju people, you scored in the 68th second, the fastest goal in the World Cup, and then you got spanked 4-1 by the World Cup finalist Croatia yesterday. And we were talking, I remember I sent you a message. I don't know if you never replied, but I think you saw it, and it just fucking ended up working out exactly what I was saying. So it was kind of funny. Now, I know it's all confusing, it's all maddening, it's all chaos, but I think it's just a smoke screen. We all know who's going to win the World Cup. It's not going to be Pakistan, the seven-time winner this time, seven-time world champion Pakistan. It's not going to happen because they're not there with the Italians. Somehow they didn't qualify. It's not going to be five-time champion Brazil. It's going to be the first time champion ever. It's going to be the fucking Saudis. They bought the thing already. It's going crazy. But just for the sake of podcast, we have to discuss. So let's discuss who's going to go through. Let's pretend Saudis are not going to win. Let's pretend. Let's go through all the eight
Hard. It's
groups.
going to be hard to pretend that, but okay,
I know it's
if you
going to be
say
hard
so.
because already, Jurgen Klinsmann has already been, the Jurgen Klinsmann already claiming
Yep.
that Iran is actually doing a lot of things. They're not very happy, but he said
Yeah.
it. He said it. Somebody
Ooh.
had to say it. Now, in Group
Yep.
A, we have Netherlands, uh, Ecuador, Senegal, Qatar. Qatar is already out, became the first team to get out in after two rounds. That was funny. It could have happened to Germany yesterday. It could have happened to Argentina. They survived, both of them. I think
Yeah.
Germany survived more because of Japan, but we'll come to that. I have a feeling, not a feeling. I watched the matches, and Ecuador has been the best team. I mean, they are good. Like even when they went down against Netherlands, they could have actually scored three. They could not. But my goodness, Ecuador is good. So I believe Ecuador will go through for me. But Netherlands, because they have been lucky and they haven't played Qatar, so you have to understand that they will probably go through. Unless but I think Qatar will go all guns firing. I think they will be putting 17 strikers in there because it's like they're bought it. It's fine. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think there's going to be any surprise, or it's going to stay exactly the same? It is Netherlands, Ecuador, Senegal.
Ecuador Senegal is going to be. I mean, I'm finding it difficult to predict, but from what I've seen, the evidence, I think Ecuador should like Ener Valencia would, I think, continue scoring, and maybe Ecuador will go through. I think the table most likely will look the same after the third round of matches. Netherlands should beat Qatar. Like, I mean, that would be an upset of the World Cup if something happens there. If Qatar can beat like
Then
Netherlands,
Netherlands should just
that'll be
leave, even if
really.
they qualify after that, right?
Yeah,
For some reason,
yeah,
like because if
yeah, yeah.
Ecuador wins, they'll still qualify. They should just confiscate, like just
I'm
completely leave.
Yeah, and not that this is like the best ever Netherlands team that has played a World Cup for sure, but still, like you would expect them to, really have a decent game against Qatar and like still win quite
Yeah,
convincing.
I mean, if I Louis in a hall, I'll forfeit.
Hey,
I'll just say, listen, I don't want to go to the next round. It's done. This is too embarrassing. This is
yeah,
not happening.
so yeah, I think that the table this group is relatively straightforward. Like there are some other groups which are trickier to predict, but I think this group relatively, I think you can assume Netherlands and Ecuador will go through.
Yeah, that brings to the second group. I think England's going to go through
Hmm.
because they're going to playing Wales.
Yeah.
Because even if Wales beat them, they still have 4 points. Wales have -2 goal difference. England have +4 because they
Yeah.
beat the great Iranian
Yeah.
6-2. Now, I think the great jeopardy is in the US and Iranian game.
Hmm.
whosoever wins will go
Yeah.
through, right? That's given. And in fact, they might even top
Yeah.
the group if Wales ends up stopping England or something. If Iran
Hmm.
wins, Iran can actually
Hmm.
top the group, and that will be some fucking turnaround from a 6-2
That'll be
spanking.
shocking.
That'll be
Yeah.
shocking, but it can happen, right? And Iran have been playing well,
Yeah.
and they are
And
also,
even like it's
holding all
good.
the.
Yeah, it's going to be a politically charged match as well, right? Iran, US, like there has always been
Oh,
like there are these other undercurrents like which maybe football fans don't really care about that, but I mean it's like a very charged group where Iran versus like US. It's going to be very very interesting.
I think it's not
I
even
think in
going
the
to be
first
overt.
match,
It's going to be pretty overt.
yeah,
I think everybody's going to be
yeah,
supporting Iran. It's going to be pretty fucking vile. It's going to be pretty mental.
yeah. It's gonna be interesting to say the least. And I somehow feel, I mean it's tricky. I mean US has not been like at their best, or I mean it's not that they have been unlucky to like not win a match. They've been very average this World Cup. I mean usually I've always seen the US team like punching above their weight and doing relatively well. Not no one expects them to like reach the semis or finals, but they would always like do be there or thereabouts. In this case, I think you're right. England goes through, irrespective of the result of Iran and US. Um, I somehow I'm not able to predict, man, between Iran and US. I somehow feel it may end up in a draw and Iran just go through with 4 points.
It's situation is far easier for Iran because Iran can
Yeah,
draw, USA
yeah,
cannot draw and go through, so that's not going to work. So
yeah,
USA will go all out, and I think
yeah.
the more money right now would be on US, but it would not surprise me at all if Iran actually goes through. The
Yeah.
only other thing in fact, I'd rather ask you a question about England versus Wales, but England has been like
Hmm.
Southgate has always been pragmatic. Again, very short because again this can go into a long rant about it. And Wales have
Hmm.
nothing to lose. Wales been carrying two passengers because they've done Aaron Ramsey and the Bale guy have done jack nothing.
Bale.
And
Yeah.
it just they've looked really really horrible. And
Hmm.
there is, but England, no matter what we say, Southgate will just go out to get a point. And if he can get a victory, he'll be like, he'll be, how do we not lose the game? That's always been the mantra, right?
This is like the worst derby match, if you can call them, right? The Battle of Britain, right? Wales
Correct.
and England. I mean, both teams have been like very, very poor. Like England played well in patches against Iran in the first game, but I mean, they came back right to their standard against the US of what how people were expecting them to play under Southgate. So it's just like a poor man's derby, if you can call it. Like, I mean, both teams
Yeah,
have
but
been unimpressive. Yeah.
exactly. If Harry Maguire has been your best player, I mean, that that
Hmm.
that tells a lot, right? All right, let's move on to this one. But do you think,
Hmm.
like, final word, do you think can Wales actually beat England? Because I think they can. I mean, a draw would not surprise me at all. I mean, victory will be a big deal, but I really don't see England also scoring a lot of
I
points.
think
And they because they know they're through, right? They will probably be very. They will be. Let's remove the pragmatic. They will be pragmatic. That is Gareth Southgate, and it will not be like a
I
it will not take a miracle or something. It's not going to be Argentina or
of
situation that happened to
yeah,
Germany
of
or
course
Argentina.
yeah, of course it won't be a miracle, but I feel that it's taking too far if at this stage I say that
Yeah,
Wales will
it's
beat
and by the way,
England.
it's only going to be because of Southgate. What I mean, England is
Yeah,
far superior than Wales, but because of
yeah.
Southgate's mentality, if these guys go all out, right, England will probably end up scoring five, and these guys will probably end up scoring two. But what Southgate wants is that he doesn't want to concede any goals. So I think
And
let's move on from
and
there.
and I
I
think
hope
just
they just
to
go all out. Put everybody,
on
put
that
Foden
point,
in, man.
no, on that point, because it's Southgate, I don't think England will lose. They may draw, which is very likely, but because it's Southgate, I don't think they'll lose. That's where I'm coming from. So I think it'll surprise me if they go all out and win 5-0 or something. But because it's Southgate, they might win it 1-0 or something like that, or it may best case scenario for Wales, it'll be a draw.
Yeah. So it's the third group that I feel there's a lot of jeopardy in the third
Hmm.
group. Again, first two groups seem
Yeah.
bit more straightforward, right? There's a lot of
Hmm.
jeopardy here. The Polish have not played well. Lewandowski never plays well for his country. Apparently, I just found out that
Yeah.
this is his first fucking goal he ever scored. It was almost like Rohit Sharma-esque. At 34, you get the first century outside India or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So he missed a penalty in the first game. Everybody knows that, which drew
Hmm.
against Mexico. Mexico, that is the only breather Mexico had. And then Mexico played again. Mexico played like Mexico against Argentina. Eventually, Argentina broke through. I don't want to talk about Messi, but the second goal was
Yeah.
brilliant. First goal was efficient from so far outside.
Hmm.
Didn't look pretty, but from technically speaking, it was very good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Saudis, as much as I was joking about it, have looked good. In fact, they should have beaten Poland, right? It was like they were just really, really good, and they missed a penalty. There was a lot of drama,
Yeah.
and eventually, I mean, it is what it is. Like because of that, Poles are in like the pole position right now because now they have 4 points. Argentina just needs to win and get through, right? And they will be playing Poland, but nothing is guaranteed. I think this is a group. Even Mexico is like still there with with contention, right? If they actually get a very big win and Argentina loses,
Hmm.
oh, by the way, don't have to get big win. If Poland beats Argentina,
Yeah.
Mexico are through,
Yeah.
right? So that's also there. So what do you see in this group? I feel this is a group with more jeopardy right now, which we did not expect,
It
right? When it
is.
started, we were like, this is nothing. This is just Argentina cruising through, but boom, 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 Saudis. This is what
Yeah,
Saudis do.
it is. Let's start with like the match against Saudi Arabia, Saudi and Mexico, right? Let's assume that there'll be a winner. Let's rule out draw for a moment,
Thank God.
and let's say if Saudi Arabia wins, then they are through, irrespective of what happens. Poland, Argentina doesn't matter. Then they
Correct.
are through.
Hmm.
And let's say if Mexico wins, then I think then Saudi Arabia are out no matter what happens,
Correct.
and Mexico have a chance. We don't know whether they'll go through or not, but they have a
Yes.
chance. Um, I would say with Saudi Arabia and Mexico, I feel I this Mexico team is weird, man. I always had a soft corner for Mexico. I love Mexican teams like playing. They always had heart and they would like play nice football. The Mexicans are like these people who are caught in the middle. They can't call themselves like South Americans, but they're not close to US. I mean they can't call them Americans as well, right? So they're
Yes.
like caught in between. So I feel I think Saudi Arabia might just scrape something here. Like that's what I feel given the
Uh,
first two matches from what
to
I've
be fair, I
seen.
would rather have Saudi Arabia going through, but Saudi Arabia needs to get a big win.
Yeah.
Sorry, they can if
No,
if
it
they can't
doesn't.
get a draw, so they have
Yeah,
to get a win. They can't get a
yeah,
draw because
yeah.
Poland, it won't work. I mean, Poland has to lose big time. They can still get a draw and get through, but then Argentina has to score multiple times. I think that might not happen.
No, if
And Saudi,
Saudi
all I'm
just
saying
has
is
to
Saudi deserves
Saudi
to
just
go
has to
through.
win, right?
Mexico doesn't go
Yeah,
deserve. In fact, I don't even think Poland
yeah,
deserves to go through or Mexico. It should be
yeah.
Argentina and Saudi. Unless Poland beats Argentina, then Poland definitely deserves to go through. That's stating the obvious,
See,
obviously.
I would put my neck out and say Argentina will beat Poland. Let's say I'm saying that's going to be the outcome. Poland will remain at four, and if they remain at four, and let's say they lose by 2 goals, then their goal difference would be
Nil.
0.
Hmm.
And I think then Saudi Arabia have to win. Like they can't do with a draw because their
They
goal
can't draw
difference
because
will
they're already
stay
in
at
minus
minus
one,
one.
right? That's what I was saying. That's what I was
Yeah,
saying. So Poland
yeah,
are in actually pole position even if they've not played well right now. Like they have the
yeah,
best situation. I mean, everything has to
yeah,
just literally fall apart for everybody else.
yeah.
So final pick.
Argentina and Saudi Arabia to go through.
All right, that I'm picking the same as well. I won't be surprised
Mhm.
because I'm Argentina fan, so I'm always nervous. So, but I'm going to pick Argentina. So let's talk about the next group,
Yeah.
which was supposed to be a lot of seemed to be a
Mhm.
lot of jeopardy earlier on. France, I mean, Australia scored against France, then Denmark sort of came back
Mhm.
against France, but at the end of the day, France still have 6 points out of six. Their goal difference is four, so they are through.
Yeah.
Australia actually beat Tunisia 1-0, and now they're against Denmark. Denmark's supposed to be this, top 10 team, great, but they haven't played well at all. They haven't played well.
Yeah.
They haven't gelled.
Absolutely
They
not.
haven't looked right. It's not like
Yeah.
they've been the opportunity. They're not scoring, taking those opportunities. There just
Mhm.
haven't been any opportunity against Tunisia. They were just
They've been
timid,
they've looked
extremely timid.
they've looked very average. I think the team somehow looks like they have like less energy than other teams. Like both their matches, I felt something is off. Like something is not clicking. This is not the Denmark team that I saw in the Euros. I think that team had like a spirit and a vibe about it. Even if they didn't match talent with the other European teams on talent, but I think they matched them on intensity and beat them on some of the games. That has not been the case this World Cup. Like somehow that's the missing ingredient from the Danish team this time. But France are through, so that's done. And I don't think Tunisia can get a result. Even if they get a point, like I don't think that's going to be enough,
Correct.
anyways. So Tunisia are out for sure. Australia have a great chance to go through. My goodness, they
It
just
doesn't
have
get
to
better than
draw, right?
this. Yeah.
Yeah, they just have to get a draw. That's about it. And against this Denmark team, I wouldn't be surprised if they get a draw. Like, forget winning, but even if they get a draw, I think Australia are in a very good position. It's completely in their hands. Two out of the three results favor them. Um, I Although I want Denmark to, like, go through. Uh,
I think everybody
it
does. We just have a soft
it
spot for
looks
Denmark, plus
unlikely
the whole Ericsson
given how
situation.
they've played. Yeah, given how they've played. Although on the other hand, I don't know too much about Australia. To be very honest, I mean,
I also don't know much
not
about Australia.
for.
I'm just saying they're a bit more rugged. They do the same thing. Just think about the Aussie team. Not going to be
Mhm,
technically great or anything, but they will have a lot of
mhm,
spirit and try to run fast, and just challenge. And I think it's more about the chutzpah than actually the talent or the
mhm,
technicality, in
mhm.
my layman's
Yeah,
opinion here.
so Australia Denmark is going to be an interesting match because on paper you would think Denmark should win that,
I mean, Denmark
but
should
it
go out, right? At the end of the day, it's like
yeah,
Denmark haven't played well. They have to go out and beat Australia, and
yeah,
they should beat Australia, should get through.
yeah,
But we'll find out. At least I like this jeopardy in this group, and it's like something to look forward
mhm,
to. So I think it's going to be a very good match,
yeah,
and this is Australia's chance
yeah,
as good as it gets, right?
correct, absolutely, yes.
All right, moving on to Group E. Now, Spain. I mean, this is one thing I liked about this World Cup. It's been very inconsistent. Just because you have a very good
Hmm.
game, you just again brought back to earth, right? I watched the
Yeah,
match against Germany. I think Germans were better than Spain, and then eventually Spain ended up taking the chance, which is, sometimes you feel like, my God, this is not your day. Germany's out, and but thank God, because what Japan did earlier, they just, this is the olive branch was extended to Germany out of nowhere. Because if Germany had 1 point today, Japan had already beaten Germany. Japan just had to fucking beat Costa Rica or just draw. I mean, Germany would have been out, but no, no,
out, yeah,
no. And now Germany is
correct,
against Costa Rica, so goal difference is not going to be a concern. They can go all out, right? And if there's one thing German team
correct,
can do is score 6 goals and concede 2 or 3. So this will not be a
correct,
problem. Now Spain, although they have dropped points here, but with the 7 goal difference playing Japan, I really don't see anything else happening here. Uh, Japan can surprise. Good thing is Japan will go all out because now they have to go all out. So this will be a very good game. And Germany versus Croatia, Costa Rica will be very good for all the neutrals, people who love to see goals. Because Germany is one thing gonna do, they're gonna fucking score goals and they're gonna concede goals, right? So it's gonna be amazing. Now, do you see a result from Japan? Because Japan has cannot draw. If they draw, Germany will definitely beat. Right? They are also on -1, but you expect at least to get at least +3 for them. So I don't think
yeah,
Japan has to beat Spain. My goodness, like, but even if they beat Spain, then they'll qualify, and then Germany will not qualify. They'll be sad, but
yeah,
because Spain will
yeah.
qualify because they have a very very major goal
I
difference. Unless, yeah,
Yeah, so I can rule. I mean, I don't see Japan beating Spain at all.
this is the
Even in
most
this match,
topsy turvy group, right, of all the time. Like, just
yeah,
crazy stuff. Yeah.
y- yeah, but it's still, this group feels relatively, like, I mean, easier for me to pick compared to the previous group. I mean, the Argentina group was difficult for me to pick. This group, I still think Spain and Germany make through because Spain will beat Japan and Germany should I mean, will beat Costa Rica. So in the end, it may look like a simple, like, when you see the points table after three matches, you might think, okay, usual suspects made it through. But as you said, it's not been that straightforward. But I think the last match can make it look straightforward. I'm banking on Spain topping the group and Germany following them.
Yeah, fair enough. I can give. I think it'll be fair if I can actually put the analogy and make the inference that this is what Japan did. Japan did what South Africa does all the time. In fact, what South Africa did in the latest World Cup, after beating the big teams, then they fucking succumb to Netherlands, I believe, right? Some shit
Yeah,
team, and then let Germany door open, because after they had beaten Germany and then they had Costa Rica, they had 6 points, they were through, and Germany had drawn. Germany was already
yeah.
out. Now there is nobody, like, I mean, Jesus. And now, if Germany actually ends up in the final, wins the World Cup, they should actually share the World Cup with Japan, like literally. And Costa Rica will be like, listen, Japan beat Germany and we beat Japan, so we're the best team. That's how it works. That's how it works, mate. That's how it
Yeah,
works. So this is like a little
that's how
bit
it
T20
rolls.
World Cup if you make a comparison to some knows. Let's talk about Group F. It has Croatia.
Mhm.
I think nobody was talking about Croatia. In fact, your Canadian coach said we will F them, or something, some shit. And it was like Croatian coach came out, it's like show some respect. Nobody's, in fact, not only Canadian people are not showing respect. We are the World Cup finalists. And I think yesterday, after getting scored against in 68 second, and everybody in the commentator, everybody saying, "Oh my God, Canadians are coming," because in the first game against Belgium, Canadians were unlucky. They could not have this. They could score, and Belgium somehow got the win. And we felt now Canadians are coming. They're going to get their win. Guess what? They became the team to get knocked out with a -4 goal difference right now. Croatia. I watched the match. I think Croatia were really, really good. And the way the attitude after the first goal, I think I sent you a text. I think it might actually backfire big time. Scoring very early now, it gives Croatia the momentum. Like it said, like we got to throw caution to the wind.
I was,
And once they got
yeah,
the yeah, once they got the taste of it, they went for the blood.
yeah. I had a chat with a couple of my friends, and I had said that after that first performance against Belgium, I don't think they will repeat. I mean, Croatia will look better than Belgium, and I think Canada has probably no chance against Croatia. I mean, Canada had no chance against Croatia, and it was surprised. Like everyone, like it got overwhelmed because Canada scored so early, and like till okay. By the way, till first 30 minutes of the game, Canada looked like they belonged on that stage, but then they
But
got
they
schooled
do,
by
they do.
Croatia. Yeah,
I think
so
the
the
trouble is
first
not that they're not
90,
good. The trouble is that
yeah,
because they're new, and whenever you new, right?
yeah,
It's like Afghanistan, you might be good, and suddenly, but the other team starts to showcase their strength, their
yeah,
metal, their
yeah.
history, their pedigree,
It's like,
and suddenly you just feel like overwhelmed.
yeah,
And they were
it's like
overwhelmed by
Canada
the
has
end.
to be. It's like Canada has to be at their best for 90 minutes. If and Croatia has to be below their best. If Croatia are at their best, then Canada's best cannot beat them.
And then
It's as
psychological
simple as
things were
that.
happening, right?
Yeah,
A lot of psychology
yeah,
was happening. And you know what? One thing I
and
want to put in here, I mean, who would have
mhm,
thought, and this is not even, everything is subjective, right? But some
mhm.
motherfucker might actually say otherwise, but let's be very fair. Belgium was supposed to be the golden generation, supposed to be all this best, and people
Absolutely,
should have
yeah,
thought Belgium should be world number two best team. Belgium have been the worst team in this group.
true. I agree. They have been the best. I mean, worst team. They were so
My
lucky to get three
God, they're
points against
miserable.
Canada. I mean,
Lukaku,
it's just weird.
Lukaku.
It's just weird. I think that golden generation is done, right? It's gone. Like there
Bro,
is no,
when
like it's
Hazard,
done.
who cannot get a fucking game for the last 3 years, is still the captain for Belgium, isn't that a telling sign that something is
There,
going
there are
wrong?
there were two hazards on the pitch and nothing could be done.
But the other guy is
Yeah, it's
far
just like,
better, by the way. Thogun
yeah,
is far better. I
yeah,
mean, what the fuck,
yeah.
man? Why is this guy? Because they obviously, I don't like this timidity. This is not good. They shouldn't be playing Hazard. I mean, they should have come up with
What
somebody better.
happened?
That already showcases that something has gone
What
wrong.
happened? Yeah, and what happened to Roberto Martinez? I mean, I just feel weird. Like, why is he like? Does he not have balls to drop
No, he
Hazard
doesn't.
or some
Because this
other
is what it
guys? Like,
says. That's what it shows. You got my point exactly. I was like, what the fuck is this? A guy cannot get a game. It's not a Gareth Bale situation. It's not a Wales, man, when you don't have players. Okay. That
yeah.
guy's is a luxury player, and it's a marquee thing, and he has helped them to get there. So it's okay. It doesn't matter.
Hmm.
Wales gets kicked out. Everybody expected that. But this is not from Belgium. This is what is he looking for? Next job to go to, I don't know where, Argentina, so they can have everybody. Martinez, they're like, Martinez is a goalkeeper, Martinez is a defender, Martinez is an attacker, Martinez will be a coach. I mean, how many fucking Martinez are in Argentina? But that was a tangent again. But yeah, you're right. He doesn't have balls, and I would love for them to get kicked out, and and he'll leave, and I think it will just, I think Kevin De Bruyne has been like, told off by, I think, ex-pros, Belgians or something, because he's been coming out very honest. He's saying we have no chance or something, and people are like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? He's just being fair. He plays for
Yeah.
Manchester City, the team which goes out to win, and here he can sense it. What the
But
fuck is this thing?
it's but by the way,
This
it's
is
not as if
this is championship
he's
team,
free
man.
of but he's not free of blame. It's not that he has set
He
up the
takes the
world on
blame. Good thing
fire.
is he's been taking blame. He
Yeah,
said, "Haven't been playing
yeah,
well." He got the fucking man
yeah,
of the match award, and and then he was like, "I don't know why I got this award because I didn't play well."
yeah. That was
I
shocking. Like,
and he
yeah,
said I think they just gave it because of the name. And then they were ESPN was joking that if he got the man of the match for the second match as well, he will actually ask them to shove it where the sun doesn't shine.
anyways, let's get on to the predicting this. This group, um, who is playing who? Croatia is playing Belgium, right?
Croatia is
By
playing
on,
Belgium, and we expect Croatia to again. Nothing is guaranteed, but at least we can
yeah.
expect Belgium to come out with some vigor. And I mean, respect, man. Like you are Belgium, for fuck's sake. You've been like number one or two for the last fucking forever years,
And
man.
and by the way Morocco has no one is talking about Morocco in this
Oh
group.
yes, I apologize. I didn't
Like
say that's what I meant. Morocco have been fucking fabulous.
yeah, yeah, and I think like Canada is now out of gas. I don't think they have enough like left in the tank. Morocco should beat Canada. I think so. They might if you it might all turn out that they
Expect
might top
goals.
the group. Yeah,
Expect
expect
goals.
goals. And Morocco is definitely qualifying. So it has
Oh
to
yeah, they
be
can.
between
With 7 points, with better
yeah.
goal difference, they can be top.
Yeah, and it'll be very, very strange if Belgium somehow nick a goal and win and Croatia crashes out of the of the group stage.
But anything is
That'll be
possible, right? That's what I'm saying.
yeah,
It's
anything is
still
possible. Yeah,
there's a lot of jeopardy again in this group, right? Apart from
yeah,
Canada, and Canada can also poop on somebody else's party, right? So that can happen. So you can
yeah.
never underestimate anybody. They can also poop on other people's party
True.
also. So
But
you
give
know,
it like just the evidence on the first two matches, I think Croatia and Morocco deserve and should go forward. Like
no,
just on
absolutely.
what we've
Absolutely.
seen.
So the last two groups we want to quickly go through because they haven't actually played two matches. They've only played one
Hmm.
match. But I still right now feel there's less jeopardy. But I'm a little bit going out on a limb here because things
Hmm.
change very, very, very quickly. Brazil has been flying, but
Yeah,
people don't realize until the 60 odd minute they didn't have a goal. Suddenly Richarlison
yeah,
becomes the greatest player and he second goal. Ooh, boy, oh boy, oh boy.
yeah.
That was something.
He
Now
apparently gave
Switzerland,
four
yeah.
million 4 million people on Instagram after that goal. Like
Oh,
just
fair
one
enough.
one match.
Fair enough. I mean, that's what the world is, right? Instagram. That's what we are
Yeah.
on. Now, Brazil, I mean, nobody can bet against Brazil right now. It'll be very weird. I think Serbia has a very good team. They have strikers. That's one thing people should not forget. Although I know they're 2 goals down right now, but they were playing Brazil, who didn't expect to get spanked by Brazil. I still there is no way I'm going to rule out Serbia to qualify because it's Cameroon and Switzerland. Switzerland has been a very dour team, always been dour. They did beat Cameroon, but come on, man, this is going to be like I think I'm going to put my money on Brazil and Serbia. Although I know Switzerland kicked out France
Oh,
last time and blah blah blah, but
cold call.
I like Serbia.
I think just because they have like 3 points on board,
I think
I
Novak Djokovic will
feel
play.
he might get visa here because it's Qatar and
He's got the visa
they
for Australia
they
now. They've cancelled all those
yeah,
nonsense rules. There's no
yeah,
vaccination required anymore.
yeah. I think maybe I disagree with you. Maybe Brazil and Switzerland. I think the group might look like this, at least the top two.
Yeah, I mean, like, but you could have had, like, I mean, we're a little bit hoodwinked by the situation because Switzerland played Cameroon.
Yeah,
If Serbia had played Cameroon, they would have
yeah,
been on.
yeah,
So we would have felt differently, right? I'm just saying, I'm not ruling out Serbia. I
yeah.
can feel that they can actually win the both matches and actually still qualify. That's
Mhm.
what my point. You are picking Brazil and Switzerland, right?
Yeah,
I don't want to spend too much time on it. Now,
yeah.
The Group H is about Ronaldo, and Ronaldo. So which Ronaldo will go through? It's South Korea because there's no North Korea. Although North Korea did beat. Did they beat England? Who did they beat? Italy. They beat Italy, right? That was one of the greatest suspend like long time ago. There was like crazy
Ah,
stuff
yeah,
that
yeah,
happened with against Italy. Now
yeah,
Uruguay is there,
yeah.
the first time world champion ever in the history, and then Ghanaians are there. Now, Uruguay is generally dour, but sometimes they score. But they have a lot of strikers. I think they're all old and shit and all, but they have the Nunes. But and the Korea is there. Now, Portugal
People.
did win the first game. Boy, that was I for me that was the best game. I mean, if that guy hadn't slipped at the end, it would have completely made Ronaldo mental. Again, I saw what a lot of people don't talking about it. Ronaldo missed a lot of chances. And Ronaldo, you can just sense that he's not the same player. And this is not based on one matches, two matches. I think it's just sense it for a while now. He will play better than he's been playing, but that Penaldo jibe just right now just holds true because that's the only thing he's scoring. And that penalty was not a penalty in a fucking million years. That was a dive.
Just on that point, I think like fortunately or unfortunately, whether you like him or not like him, it unfortunately there are moments that are built for Ronaldo, and over the years, like no matter the more criticism he gets, somehow he has a moment he'll play shit for 89 minutes and then suddenly score like two majestic headers in the last 1 minute and win the game. It's just, it's for him, it's about the moment, and doesn't matter how like 90 minutes look like. I just feel that he has so much desire, and now even like half the world is against him and he has to prove them wrong. And I somehow feel he will have his moment under the sun. um
He
and
won 86
I just see
million
like,
pound offer or something for
yeah,
62
a
million
million,
per year or
million
something.
pounds a week, a million
More than
pounds a
million
week or
because
something.
62 because 186, so that's coming to 62 million. That means it's 1.2 million or something per
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's
in
just
week.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
Whatever it is,
ridiculous
it's a
amounts of money. Yeah,
ridiculous
it's
amount.
ridiculous amounts of money. Yeah, I think he just wanted a
Yeah,
little bit more than Mbappe. That's why they added the extra point two. Yeah, because
yeah.
that guy gets a million.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, so I think just on Ronaldo, I think we can have like a separate tangent on what his future looks
Oh,
like.
we
But
can have fucking 5 hour podcast on Ronaldo.
yeah,
But I
yeah.
will be fair.
So
I'm
I
just
think,
saying we both love Ronaldo. So when I say this, and I just want to add one more
yeah.
thing that if you watch the match, he actually had scored a goal, and he was given a foul for because he
Hmm.
pushed somebody, but he was shoulder, and I can honestly tell you that was fair, and he should have gotten that goal. And I think now that it kind of like evened out, he's like, listen, this is the world, and
Yeah,
he's being fair because if you don't fall down, nobody gives a penalty ever, right? So that was a
yeah,
goal. He just shoulder. He like he was just stronger. He didn't really go. He just shouldered him, and that guy referee just
and
blew the. And the VAR does right. If referee blows the whistle, they don't change it.
yeah,
And this situation, referee gave the thing. Otherwise, VAR would have never given this fucking penalty in a year. So
yeah.
I think it
And
was
now
fair.
that,
But overall, his game
yeah,
was not good again.
yeah, and now that Messi has scored, he has to score again
Twice. Yeah,
to
he has to score
stay
again.
ahead, right?
Stay
Yeah.
ahead, right?
So
Absolutely. So yeah, final
all
word on this thing. Yeah,
cards.
yeah.
Portugal to qualify, Uruguay to follow, but again, like I mean,
Oh,
people are shouting for like Luis Suarez to like retire or something.
mid pitch,
Um,
mid
yeah,
match.
yeah, I don't know. Like Uruguay on paper,
So
like
imagine
is a
the board
decent
comes up.
team.
It's not like substitute. It's like Suarez retires from football. It's like okay, guard of honor.
On
Referee's like,
paper,
I'm
you would
adding
think,
these minutes. I'm adding these minutes, motherfuckers. I'll make you 78 minutes extra.
yeah,
Yeah.
please,
So
please,
you're
yeah.
still banking on
I
Uruguay.
just,
You're talking about fairy tales, right? We all want Uruguay. Like I think
yeah,
if anybody we watch,
yeah.
because we don't care about Korea or Ghana, right? Because we don't follow them. That's the
Although
thing.
Ghana has decent players, or Ghana has like decent
Of
players.
course,
Half
that's
their
why they're
team
here.
plays in like, yeah, and
That's
half their
logic is
team
not a
plays
point.
in
I'm saying we
Europe.
don't care for Korea or
Yeah,
Ghana because we don't follow them. We care for Uruguayan.
Korea
We care
not
for
so
Luis
much.
Suarez.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true, true for
and we
sure.
are the
So
Portugal.
yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, as far as like fairy tales and following goes, I think we want Portugal and Uruguay to qualify. And yeah, let's see. I think so. That's going to be my pick. But again, like because it's only been one match in the group, it's pretty early. But yeah, right now I'm picking Portugal and
All right,
Uruguay.
wonderful. So we spent around half an hour only to come to the same point that Saudis are going to win the damn World Cup because it's already pre-decided. This is how the world works. They've already paid £1 billion to FIFA and shoved money in everybody's knickers, as they say. The English people say the knickers. I like it, but better than saying panties or underpants or Frenchy and all that stuff. It's just like knickers. So it's going to be Saudis, but let's see if Brazil can actually give them a competition in the final. Just pretend, let's have a 3-2 win and the Saudis will win and Saudis will become the greatest. I think they're already cloning Messi's and Ronaldo's and De Bruyne's and the Silva's, Lewandowski's. They're doing all these things. Even the backline also, Philip Lams and all. They're just trying and all kind of greatest keeper. Courtois, not that what he did yesterday, but like Courtois has these moments, right? When he just fucks up big time, but he has this
Yeah.
like always mostly good, but sometimes he fucks up. And yeah,
Mm.
that will be the Saudi team, and they'll have all the Saudi names, but they'll be all just Germans and Italians and Argentinians and Brazils. So thank you for your time. I'm fake football fan. I am not supporting England, but that's what all the brown people have been called fake supporting. This is BK. He is Hansi Flick, but Germany is still in. My heart would have been broken if both Germany and Argentina have been kicked out, but who knows? They can actually both get through. And this is how the football works. You don't have to look good. You have to fucking win the match. You have to keep proceeding. So, all right, we'll see you next time. Canada, we'll see you next time. I know this was just a preview because next time the World Cup is in United States, and both of you in the next 4 years can become a superpower. Who knows? Lightning can strike.
You will have a maybe you we can do a podcast. I can be in the stadium. I'm planning the couple of matches in Toronto next World Cup. So yeah, maybe.
Oh my God. We are imagining that I'll be alive with all the stuff that I say. I'll not be picked up by Al Qaeda. All right. Take care.
All
Like and
right.
subscribe. This is BK. This is me. FFF. Take care. Bye bye.